Part 1. The Arrival. The manor loomed like an accusation. Blackridge House was supposed to be a new beginning. That's what David told himself as he turned the key in the rusted iron lock, one hand wrapped around his wife Lily's fingers, the other carrying a battered suitcase. They were newlyweds, only 6 months in, and this house, crumbling and forgotten on the edge of a sleepy town, had been a miracle find. 3 stories tall, Victorian, covered in climbing ivy. Price too low to be honest.
I feel like we're trespassing,
Lily said as the door creaked open. David smiled, hiding the goosebumps rising on his arms.
That's part of the charm.
The inside was worse than the photos. The air was dense, sweet with decay. Wallpaper curled from the walls like peeling skin. A grand chandelier hung by a thread of rusted chain. But there was potential. David, a restoration architect, saw a dream waiting to be restored. Lily didn't see potential. She saw shadows, especially in the bedroom, the one with the floral wallpaper. That night, as rain began to rattle the high windows and the wind sobbed through the chimney, Lily sat upright in bed.
Did you hear that?
She whispered. David rubbed sleep from his eyes.
What?
Scratching. Her voice trembled.
Behind the wall.
He listened. For a moment, nothing. Then, yes. A soft, deliberate drag. Not scurrying, not a mouse, like nails. David stood and pressed his ear to the wallpaper. The scratching stopped.
It's probably old pipes,
he said, but something in his chest tightened. That was the first night. Part 2. The Voice. By the 4th night, the scratching became more frequent, and then it began to whisper. David returned from town one afternoon to find Lily sitting in the middle of the bedroom staring at the wall. A notebook lay open beside her. Her eyes were glassy.
She talks to me now,
Lily said softly. David knelt beside her.
Who? The woman inside.
He laughed nervously.
Lily.
I'm serious.
She looked up at him.
She's lonely. She says I understand her.
That night, David found pages of poetry tucked under Lily's pillow, all written in her delicate looping script, but filled with words he didn't recognize, names, dates, and one phrase repeated dozens of times. She waits, she watches, she weeps. David stopped sleeping. Part 3. The History. David needed answers. The town's archives were sparse, but the librarian remembered the house.
Blackridge?
She said, adjusting her glasses.
That's the Harrow estate. Cursed, some say.
Harrow?
David asked, the name unfamiliar.
Eliza Harrow, daughter of a textile magnate. She was set to marry a doctor from Boston. He vanished before the wedding. Rumours say she went mad, locked herself in the house. They found her body, hidden behind the bedroom wall.
David's skin prickled. He returned home, heart pounding, but said nothing to Lily. She was humming when he walked in, an old tune like a lullaby from another century. Part 4. The Opening. The wall cracked on the 12th night. Not a metaphor, not in David's mind. They both heard it, a long, low groan of wood separating. The wallpaper split down the middle like a wound. Behind it was no insulation, no framework, just darkness. Lily approached it like a moth to flame. David grabbed her arm.
I have to.
She whispered.
No, Lily.
She needs me.
That night, David sealed the opening with plywood and nails. The next morning, it was gone. The wall was smooth, as if untouched. Lily stared at him with vacant eyes.
Why did you close her mouth?
Part 5. The Bride in the Mirror. It wasn't just the wall anymore. It was the mirrors, the windows, the corners of David's eyes. Lily had stopped calling her the woman. She had a name now. Eliza.
She says she was betrayed.
Lily told him one night, tracing her fingers across the cracked vanity in the bedroom.
He left her waiting at the altar. She waited and waited until her heart rotted from the inside.
Lily, stop.
She died in that dress.
Lily turned slowly, smiling.
She says I should wear it too.
David's blood ran cold. Later, he found it in the attic, preserved in a cracked glass case. A Victorian wedding gown, faded and yellowed, still with streaks of red along the hem. He tried to burn it. The fire didn't catch. Part 6. The Room with No Door. David became obsessed. He traced the blueprints. The bedroom should have backed onto an old dressing room, but no such room existed. The measurements didn't add up. One night, while Lily slept, he pried open the floorboards behind the bed. Beneath the rotted wood, he found a bricked-up threshold. A hidden room. It took him 4 hours to chip through. When he pushed the final brick free, cold air blasted him in the face. He coughed, stepping in. A vanity sat in the center, surrounded by dust-covered candles. The walls were papered with old love letters. The same phrase was scrawled in soot on every mirror. "You will not leave me." Then he saw it, the portrait. Eliza Harrow in her wedding dress, pale, unblinking. She looked exactly like Lily. Part 7. The Night of the Walls. David confronted Lily.
You're not well.
He said.
We need to leave.
Lily laughed, not cruelly, but mournfully.
I can't.
She said.
She's inside me now.
You're not her. You're my wife.
Lily smiled sadly.
That's what Eliza said to him.
That night, David woke to humming the same lullaby. He stumbled toward the bedroom. The wall was open again, breathing alive, trembling like skin. Inside, Lily stood in the wedding dress, hair flowing, eyes glassy.
Eliza says we can be together.
She whispered.
Forever. No betrayal, no death. Just waiting.
Lily, please.
You're not him.
She said softly.
But you'll do.
And she stepped into the wall. Part 8. The Vanishing. David screamed her name until his throat cracked. He tore at the walls, splinters biting into his palms. Nothing. The opening had closed, sealed, not even a crack. For 3 days he searched the house without sleeping. The attic, the cellar, behind every inch of wallpaper. No Lily. The police came, took notes, labeled it a domestic dispute, filed her as missing. No sign of a struggle, no sign of forced entry, no proof she ever existed. They tested David for drugs. Twice. He stopped speaking, stopped eating. He stayed in the house waiting, hoping, but hope decays faster than grief. On the 13th night, the wall cracked open again, and a voice drifted out, not Lily's.
You left her too.
Part 9. The Whispers Return. They say grief makes men mad. David began responding to the whispers. He'd sit by the wall for hours, whispering back, apologizing, pleading, bargaining. He kept Lily's wedding ring in his pocket, slept in her scent, cooked food for two, read aloud her favorite poems. He thought if he could make Eliza understand love again, she might give Lily back. But love and obsession wear the same perfume. One night, the whisper changed.
I can bring her back,
It said.
but I need you first.
David didn't hesitate. He opened the wall. Part 10. The Final Room. It was no longer just a room. It was a world, a memory, a trap. He walked through endless hallways lined with mirrors, each showing a version of himself with Lily, at the beach, at their wedding, holding her on the hospital floor when she miscarried, every joy, every pain, preserved like insects in amber.
Lily?
He called. One mirror rippled. She stepped through. She was wearing the dress.
David.
She breathed. He ran to her, but her face changed, pale, hollow. Black veins crept down her cheeks.
I waited.
She whispered.
Why didn't you?
He backed away, and Eliza emerged from the darkness behind her.
You love her?
Eliza asked. Her voice was a knife wrapped in velvet.
Yes.
Then stay.
The walls closed. Epilogue. The next couple. 50 years later, Black Ridge Manor was purchased again by a young couple, newlyweds.
This place has great bones.
The man said, running his hand across the cracked banister.
I don't like the wallpaper.
The woman said, pausing in the master bedroom. That night they heard scratching. The man pressed his ear to the wall. Nothing. But the woman, she heard humming, a lullaby, and a voice that whispered,
Let me out.